Guys, so today we have this pack of cards. But we're just going to have a look at them. This is the Monster Tarot deck. So it's pretty unique in its right, with it being the Monster one. That's Storm talking. So let's see. They haven't been shuffled or anything yet. So let's have a look. See how they feel. So that's the back side of them. Oh, they're pretty good to shuffle. One wants to come out. I don't know why I do want to come out here. The Six of Castles and the Five of Castles. So let's see what we have here. So these are the castles, as you can see. Then we have like different areas. But we have the Fool. This is a full one. The Magician. The very retro looking The High Priestess. The Empress is good old Mrs. Frankenstein. The Emperor is good old Dracula, obviously. The Hierophant. The Hierophant's just cloaked, so could be a number of them, that could, depending on the monster. So we have candles, and that's one of the candle pictures. So I guess they do have all different types of pictures on them, so it's kind of cool. But if you look at them, they are very retro in the way that they're designed. Like the colour on them is, it's dull. You know, it's not a bright colouring on them. They're not bright or anything. They are very much retro designed. And I quite like that. The Lovers. Claws. Three of Claws. Rawr. Six of Claws. That's a mummy, actually. That's interesting. So, Five of Claws. Oh, Crypts. We have Crypts as well. That's cool. I like that idea. Very, very retro cards. Absolutely. So the pictures on them are very interesting. Indeed. The candles are fire. The crypts are earth. And the claws should be air. So where's water? So there's some more crypts, and the crypts are different pictures of the different like places, I suppose. But what I'm looking for is to find water, because we don't seem to have all the necessary. Let's see. Crypts. Candles. 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 And castles. Castles is water, which is really bizarre. I didn't expect that. But I guess it is, so... Queen of Crypts. Claws. Knight of Candles will be the professor, of course. So what I have to do, Queen of Candles, she's very pretty. So we have to make sure that they're all separated and, you know, we don't want them to be intertwined. They all come in order, that's the world. So because they all come in order, we have to make sure that that's not how they're going to be in the pack. So generally what I do when I get a pack is I do this and I make sure that they're completely not in order, because that's the best way for it to work for me. Just shuffling them, it's really not enough, guys. You know, it's not going to work. Just shuffling them is not going to take the pack out of order. And when you do a reading, what you don't want is to be getting it in order as it comes, because that's not a real good reading, is it? So that's the idea. Oh, look at this. Knight of Claws. Yeah, so I mean, that's really strange that water is the castles. So I expected it to be the earth, but I was wrong. So we have to make sure that they are all mixed up. Oh, the Ace of Candles, look at that. That's air. Candles is air. The Star. Oh, the Moon is the Wolfman, of course. Who else would it be? The Sun. How beautiful. Judgment, of course. Cleopatra. She is Judgment, I'll give her that. The claws are just claws. So yeah, I thought it would be the other way around, but apparently, so the castles are water, the candles are air, the crypts are earth, and the claws are fire. So I got it wrong. I just thought it would be the other way around, I guess. I didn't, how I'm used to reading them, I suppose, but I guess that really doesn't matter, as long as you can read the pictures. And you do have to use your intuition with these sorts of cards, because they don't actually come with a book anyway, but I'm not one. I don't like using books. I just, what I see on the picture and just, you know, say what it is, I guess. That's just how I am. So let's keep modelling these up. The best way to put it. So that they're all separated. Oh, look at Temperance. He looks very serious, doesn't he? Very serious. The Chariot. Strength. The Hermit. The Wheel of Fortune. Justice. There's two justices, a male and there's a female, that's interesting. And the Hanged Man is if you remember that. So, now they are at least all mixed up. None of them are in order. That way when we do a reading, they don't, they won't come out all together as the same. Because when you first get your cards, that's what happens. They come as a set, so they're all going to come in order. And if you do a reading with them all in order, it's not going to be a particularly good reading, because it's just going to be one after the other, the same sort of things. So that's generally why we like to sort them out. But yeah, they're very retro looking. That's the box. Monster Tarot. Here's the back. But yeah, there's no book or anything. You don't get books for these ones. And honestly, I'd rather not have books. I don't particularly like books. I prefer to just do it as what I can see from the picture. So I'll show you an example if I'm going to use these cards. I'll ask them to give me a card, any card. That one shuffle. The High Priestess is what they gave me. And that is the High Priestess card. So, for example, if I was going to read this card, I would be looking at it, and one thing I noticed straight away is this woman's looking in a mirror, but the reflection is not the same. So therefore, the High Priestess does not see her own powers. She is kind of, I don't want to say blinded, that's not the word, but there's like a barrier between her and her true self, or him and his true self. There's like this barrier that you need to crack to unlock your true potential and sort of stop dilly-dallying and prettying things up and go straight for it. Because while you're dilly-dallying, all you're doing is putting more screen in front of you, and when all said and done, you should come into your own true power. And your own true power is to take that screen down and to come in your own right power. The High Priestess is a very dominant, usually feminine energy, and it's someone with great wisdom and knowledge and power, and someone who usually knows that they are powerful, but for some reason there's this like frosted glass in front of our eyes if we get this card, and we need to knock that to one side so that we can be our true selves. And that's what I would get from that card. Another one that came out was the Two of Castles. Now, the Two of Castles is a very dark card to look at, can you see? However, it's a very dark card. However, saying that, it's not so much that you're in the dark now. It would represent that the dark is coming to past, because the rocky hills and the mountains of the troubles are behind. So anything that's rocky hilled or like mountains or things like that usually means past troubles, like past problems, struggles. But because it's in the distance, it generally means that those struggles, those problems, whatever it is that were happening, they are over now. That's what it generally means. The castle itself is a dark castle. So it means in order for you to have got through what you've got through, you still ended up in a pretty dark place at that moment in time. But there is light. You just need to find that light to guide you along a new, smoother path, because there's a smoother path down here. There's a light at the bottom of the castle. The rest of the castle is fairly dark, so it's about finding your way through this issue and finding that light and leading you onto a smooth path, a smoother path, but the troubles that you faced are behind you. It's just now you need to work your way through the rest of it to find the light. And that's what I would get from those two pictures, and that's why I tell people I don't read from a book. I use my intuition. I use whatever signs I get in my head or whatever, however you want to think that is. Think I'm crazy, I don't care. But yeah, that's how I do it. And books are great. Yeah, I get they are. But I've been doing these type of cards and things since I was 14 years old. So I'm past all that needing of books and things, you know. It's not for me. So these are a deck that I will probably use at some point, definitely. But at first I just want to go through all the different decks that I have and show people the decks that I have, and so you can see how I read my cards. You can see what I use and how I distinguish the pictures and things like that. Get to know how I'm going to do them when I start reading, because everybody's different and I have a lot of different cards to open and go through and get a feel for. So that's what some of these videos are for. They're just for me to get a feel on what they are like, to take a look at the pictures and determine what I can see from them and such like. So yes, that is my Monster tarot deck. Very, very retro. Pictures not bright, they are quite dark pictures. That does not mean it's a dark meaning, it's just how the pictures are designed, you see. Because they're monster cards, they're not meant to be bright, they're meant to be like that. So with that being said, those are a deck that I would definitely use. What do you think, guys? I like them, they're very retro, and I like that, and I like how the pictures are also retro. That's kind of cool too. Thank you for watching, and many blessings.